Hello, yeah, welcome back to today's lesson. And today we are continuing with indices. And after today, I'll start treating other topics other than indices. And today's lesson, we have about 4 questions to handle. Number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, and 5. So we are starting from number 1 as usual. And in number 1, we have y plus 1 over y equal to 3 whole number 1 over 3. So number 1, solution. We have y plus 1 over y is equal to 3 whole number 1 over 3. Okay, so in order to continue, we have to multiply through by y to remove this fraction. And also, we'll put this in fractional form. So we can have y plus 1 over y is equal to 10 over 3. That's 3 times 3 plus 1. Multiplied through by y, we have y squared, that is y times y plus 1 over y multiplied by y over 1 equal to 10 over 3 times y over 1. Here, this will divide, and then that will lead us to y squared for this plus 1 for this equal to 10 over 3y. And from that part, we're also going to multiply through by 3 to give us, to remove the fraction entirely. That will give us 3y squared plus 3 equal to 10y. That is by multiplying through by 3. And then bringing everything together, we have 3y squared minus 10y plus 3 equal to 0. So we're now having a quadratic equation whereby we are to find the values of y. And then we can use any method, but I would like to use factorization method. And to use factorization method, you have to use the coefficient of y squared to multiply this last value. And then whatever you have, you find the factors of that value. That will give you the middle number when you add or subtract. And when you multiply, you have that answer. So 3 times 3 is 9. That's positive. What are the factors of plus 9 that will give me minus 10 when I add or subtract, and when I multiply, I must get plus 9. And that will give us minus 1 minus 9. Because minus 1 minus 9 give minus 10. Minus 1 times minus 9 we give plus 9. So we're now going to break this down to involve minus 1 minus 9. And in continuation, we have 3y squared minus 9y minus y plus 3 equal to 0. Remember that the values you are having will be the coefficients of the letter that is there. So now you factorize by grouping. What is common here is 3y bracket y minus 3 minus what is common here is 1 bracket y minus 3 equal to 0. So that 3y minus 1, that is this and this, into y minus 3 equal to 0. And that means 3y minus 1 is 0, or y minus 3 equal to 0. So we are now going towards finding the values of y. Therefore, 3y is 1, or y equal to 3. Y is either 1 over 3 or y equal to 3. Therefore, y is either 1 over 3 or 3. That's the answer, the values of y. So we have succeeded in getting the values of y, and that is how to handle that question. So we are going over to number 2. Okay, number 2, we have 5y is equal to 40, y raised by minus 1 over 2, and we have to find the value of y. So the first thing we have to do is to divide through by 5 before we move on. So 5y over 5 is equal to 40, y raised by minus 2 all over 5. We divide, this is 1, this is 8. So from here we have y is equal to 8, y raised by minus 1 over 2. Yes, we are still having a problem because we have y on the left-hand side and also on the right-hand side. So we must have numbers one side so that we'll be able to find the value of y. So in order to continue, we have to square both sides. That is y squared is equal to 8y, or let me write it down. Square both sides. So that means y squared is equal to 8y raised by minus r raised by 2. And then in continuation, we have y squared equal to 8 squared y raised by minus half times 2 over 1. This we divide, and then we have y squared is equal to 64y raised by minus 1. And we know that y raised by minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over y. That is y raised by minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over y. So we are going to apply this knowledge here. And that means y squared is equal to 64 all over y. And then you cross multiply. That means y raised by 3 is equal to 64. For us to find the value of y, we have to find the cube root of both sides. So y is equal to cube root of 64, and that is 4. Therefore, y is equal to 4. That's the answer to that. That's the answer to number 2. We're now going over to number 3. And in number 3, we are told that 4 raised by 1 log 8 base 2 is the same thing as 8 raised by y. First of all, let us handle log 8 to base 2. Log 8 to base 2. Let log 8 to base 2 equal to a, for instance. And we know that according to the theory of logarithms, the log of any number to any base is the power to which the base must be raised in order to give us the number. That means if I raise this to this power, I must get 8. And that shows that 2 raised by a is equal to 8. 2 raised by a is equal to 2 raised by 3, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And that means that a is equal to 3. So it means that log 8 to base 2, log 8 to base 2 is equal to 3. So we'll continue this side. Continue that side, and then we are going to have, that means 4 raised by log 8 to base 2 is the same thing as 4 raised by 3. That is the meaning, because we have converted it. And then substituting the value, we have 4 raised by 3 is equal to 8 raised by y. Then changing the whole thing is supposed to be 2 raised by 2 into 3 is equal to 2 raised by 3y. 2 raised by 6 is the same thing as 2 raised by 3y. Then you equate the powers as usual, and that will give us 6 is equal to 3y. That means that if 3y is 6, therefore y is equal to 6 over 3. Then you divide and we have 2. So our final answer is y is equal to 2. That is the answer to that. So we move on to number 4 now. Move on to number 4. So moving on to number 4. Moving on to number 4. Okay. Okay. Moving on to number 4, we are told that we have to evaluate this if y is equal to this. So we have number 4 now. We have y squared minus 1 over y squared should now be, anywhere we see y, we put this value. And that means we have this bracket 3 minus root 7 squared then minus 1 over 3 minus root 7 squared. So we take it one after the other. We handle it here so that whatever we have, we replace. Okay? So that means 3, taking this one, 3 minus root 7 into 3 minus root 7. That is multiplied by itself. That will be 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times root 7 is minus 3 root 7. Minus root 7 times 3, minus 3 root 7. Minus 7 times, minus root 7 times minus root 7 will give us plus root 49. And simplifying further, we have 9 minus 6 root 7 plus 7. So going further, 9 plus 7 is 16. So going further, we have 16 minus 6 root 7. That means that going back to the question now, it means we are having 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 1 minus 1 all over 16 minus 6 root 7. So, but in order to simplify this, we are going to rationalize this. And I hope you are conversant with rationalization. I hope you are conversant with rationalization. So, in order to do that, we rationalize this. And to rationalize this means multiplying the numerator and denominator by the conjugate. That is opposite in sign of this. So, this will now give us 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 1 minus 1 over 16 minus 6 root 7 times the conjugate now is 16 plus 7 all over 16 plus root 7. That is, the conjugate of 16 minus 6 root 7 is 16 plus 6 root 7 plus 6 root 7. 6 root 7. Okay? So, in order to simplify, we are now going to have 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 1 minus 16 plus 6 root 7, everything over 16 times 16. You check your calculator, I think it will give us 256, but let me check and be sure. That's 16 times 16, 256. So 16 times 16, 256. 16 times 6 root 7 will give us give us 96. So 16 times this will give us plus 96 root 7. We are through with that. We are coming over here. Minus 6 root 7 times 16 minus 96 root 7. This and this minus 36 root 49. Okay, so, and in continuation, this will disappear since they are the same. And then we now have 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 1 minus 16 plus 6 root 7 all over 256. Then 36 times 7. 36 times 7, because the square root of 49 is 7. 36 times that should be, this is 42, carry 4. This time this is 21, 25. That's 252. Minus 252. And 256 minus 252 should give us 4. So that will give us 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 1 minus 16 plus 6 root 7 all over 4. We are still moving. So from there we come back here. Come back here, and then we simplify everything. In other words, the LCM is 4. And then we put it there. LCM is 4. 1 dividing 4 is 4. That is 4, bracket 16 minus 6 root 7. 4 dividing 4 is 1, minus 1, bracket, minus 1 bracket 16 plus 6 root 7. Everything over 4. Everything over 4. Okay, so in continuation, we simplify further, and we have this is 64 minus 24 root 7 minus 16 minus 6 root 7 all over 4. That is, if you remove the bracket, this will affect this. So collecting like terms, this and this will give us 30. That is minus 24 minus 6. And then 64 minus 16. 64 minus 16 will give us 48. That is 64, 16. This is 8, this is 4. That's 48. Then this and this is 30. So minus 30 root 7 all over 4. And then you can simplify by trying to divide. Using 4 to divide 48, that will give us 12 minus 30 over 4 root 7. 2 here is 2, 2 here is 15. So finally, our answer is 12 minus 15 root 7 all over 2. Or as our final answer. That's our final answer. So we have come to the end of this session. And please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if there's any question, you are free to put it in the comment section so that I'll go through it and then find solution to the questions. Thank you and God bless you. I'll see you in the next video.